Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Jaquan,
I'm Jasmine.
and welcome to the Film Spill.
So, today, guys, we're going to be reviewing the movie The Tomorrow War. This is an action sci fi movie, and here is the summary. The world is stunned when a group of time travelers arrive from the year 2051 to deliver an urgent message. 30 years in the future, mankind is losing a global war against a deadly alien species.
When it came to this film, I had to do more research. Like after I watched the film, I enjoyed it. But as I kind of like I said, did my research afterwards, I kind of started to my rating for the film actually started to go down because it was just like a lot of plot holes and stuff that I was just like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. So I actually gave this film a 2 out of 5. I would not recommend this film. I mean, if you're into science fiction or science, then definitely I would say check it out. But just overall, the story itself just was kind of just like I said, a lot of plot holes. Let's get into my pros and my cons. So my first pro was it's a sci-fi movie. So I love sci-fi movies. Like I said, if you're that's the reason why I watched the film because it's a sci-fi movie. So if you're into anything science fiction or sci-fi, definitely I would say check it out. But really just for that because once again, everything else was just kind of just all over the place. The plot itself, even though I'm gonna get into it with my cons, I did respect that it was different, right? It was something that I never really seen, and we've always said when it comes to Hollywood, they just recycle a lot of films. Even though this film has some, I feel like it has some connections to like Independence Day. I still felt like it was very different, and I respected that. And I thought the film started off crazy, and I'm the type of person where it's just like, if you can kind of like bring me in the very beginning, you may can keep me throughout the whole film. This film, like I said, from the first time watching it, I was definitely kind of hooked because it was different. But after just kind of looking more into it, I was just like, all right, this is just extra. But yeah, definitely started off crazy. So let's get into my cons. All right, so my first con, really my biggest cons is around the story. So let's just talk about what was kind of just irking me, what really ground my gears. So just the plot of it, right? So they literally are sending people with minimal weapons and armor into the future to prevent humanity's destruction. Like that doesn't even sound straight, right? Then we send each soldier with a couple of clips, bullets, no grenades, no grenade launcher, nothing like that. And literally go fight these freaking alien creatures who, to me, once again, another con, I didn't think they were super terrifying. They looked cool, but I don't think they were like, out of this world crazy. I think they kind of really mimic bugs or whatever. The next con goes back to the story was the ending of the story. So basically, when they realized that, okay, these aliens have been here for a long time, they find out where they are, using pure luck, hibernating. And when they find out where they are, they tell the government, right? They go tell them, hey, we found these aliens and we have this poison to kill them all, preventing the entire war and the extinction of the human race. And the government basically say, no, like, yeah, we're not even focusing on that right now. Which to me is just kind of crazy. You would have think they will at least kind of just let's check this out or just let's look into these claims. Not to try to say you need to listen to everything because some people could be whack jobs, but they could have at least checked it out. But it was like no. So then what happens? A few civilians illegally fly right to the United States to Russia without being stopped by any military. Like no Russian military spot nobody in no aircraft. Same with the U.S. So I just thought it was just weird. And going back to the other parts of the story was even when they find the poison or whatever, when they was creating it in the very beginning, they only had poison to destroy the males or something, and not the one female. But what crazy was you have this poison to destroy the males, yet you would think the smart would to be let's mass produce this poison to kill the male off. At least it's like no. Once again, that's what I'm saying. It was just a lot of different plot holes. The biggest thing is, like I said, I did not like the fact that let's send random people, who really I think they trained for a short period of time to go fight these people, fight these creatures. And literally, you see how it's starting off people falling, dying, like they're not even landing correctly. They're just immediately dying. So once again, story itself was not well written. So I gave it the ranking I gave it.
Okay, guys, I gave this movie a 3.5 out of 5. It was a cool sci-fi type movie. I think it's just crazy that, like he was saying, people were sent into the future to fight an alien army. So basically, like the beginning, Chris Pratt, the main character, was watching the FIFA World Cup on TV, and literally soldiers came from the future through a time portal onto the field to tell everybody, like, oh, in the future, there's some aliens wiped out most of the humans and we need help. Like, how crazy is that? You're literally watching TV and people come through a time portal to tell you about stuff from the future. Like, that is just so crazy.
That's why I was like, it started.
They sent all of their military people into the future through a wormhole device called the Jump Link. But what happened was fewer than 30% of people survived. So less than, out of 100%, less than 30% survived. So that's why they said they did the draft of just regular civilians, because they needed people, but the military was basically wiped out. And so they had to just ask regular people, I guess, or draft regular people to do it. So they said it was a 7-day deployment too, which was crazy. But
like small window of training to go fight some aliens.
oh, I thought when they said 7-day deployment, they was only gone for 7 days.
Gone for 7 days, but I think it was was it a 1-day training?
Yeah, I think they was only trained for like 1 day or something, because they was just trying to get more bodies out there. But like you said, when people was like, a lot of people didn't survive going through the wormhole, because you know it's gonna mess with some people. They just not gonna survive it. They said it was a lot of old people in the drafts because they said they were going to be dead by the future or something, so it wasn't like going to mess anything up. But yeah, a lot of people, they just weren't fit, but they just was picking anybody because they needed bodies. But a lot of people weren't surviving. Like when they came through, sometimes they said the jump link was messed up. It's supposed to come through like towards the ground. Sometimes it'll come in the air. So people are falling and hitting buildings and streets and stuff and dying. So a lot of people didn't survive just in general. So that's why they just wanted everybody. But it was a very suspenseful sci-fi movie.
Yeah, definitely suspenseful.
But I was confused when he did his 7-day deployment and came back, and his daughter was an adult, and she said he died when she was 16 in a car crash. So it was just like, it was just getting confusing with the future and the past and the present, and everything was all mixed up together, and I was just confused at that. Well. But it was crazy, the part where they was trying to trap the female white Spike, and there were like hundreds of males swarming trying to protect her. That part was crazy and scary. Like, oh my gosh, like all the males were coming to protect her, and it was just crazy. But anyway, like you said, towards the end, they found out later that the aliens had been on Earth for a very long time. Their ship was just frozen under a glacier, and so when the ice caps started melting because of global warming, they were able to emerge. But all in all, it was a very interesting movie. I like sci-fi stuff. It was very cool. It's just like some of the stuff was very confusing when they was doing past, present, future. It was getting very confusing. Like he was dead, he was alive. It was just a lot of stuff going on. But it was a pretty good movie though.
Oh yeah, and also too, the towards the end, I just thought about it when I think he ended up fighting one of the aliens. Like the same aliens where it's like we can't utilize no weapons to, you know, destroy them. He started fighting one of them, like one of the strongest one or something towards the end, which is just,
it was a female or something. They said, okay, so when they went into the ship that was underground, they was like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to kill all of them to prevent the war in the future. They started killing some of them, but of course they woke up. So they had to fight them and stuff. One escaped, and it was a female, which is very important to get the female. Because, she escaped, so they had to like fight it, like, you know, just fight it up close and personal, and he ended up shoving the poison or whatever stuff down her throat. That's how he ended up beating her.
Yeah, doesn't make sense. Let's just fight this big thing and But yeah, so I wouldn't recommend it. She said she enjoyed it, but definitely you guys, if you love sci-fi, I would say you should possibly watch it. But other than that, once again, it didn't really hit that well for me. But just like always, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. You guys have a good one.